Thanks, Spencer. 10 minutes now after 8. It is graduation time, and that means 1.5 million new college graduates will be out looking for jobs in this recessionary year. The problem finding those jobs, however, has less to do with the state of the economy than with the way those graduates will go about trying to find them. At least that's the argument of Jack Falvey, a speaker and writer who has busted the myths on traditional job hunting methods in a number of respected books, including After College, The Business of Getting Jobs. And he's joining us this morning. Good to have you with us. Is it a tough market? I say there's 1.5 million young people out there looking for jobs. Are there 1.5 million jobs out there for them?
More than 1.5 million. It is not a tough market if you know what you're doing. The name of the game has always been, it's who you know, not what you know. You have to get off the college campus. You have to get out, visit with people, meet them, find out what they're doing, and that's how you begin to build your connections.
Jack, a week ago yesterday, we were doing the show from the campus of Harvard University. Graduates there were saying, and that's the cream of the crop,
that's correct.
We are in a tough market, we can't find jobs. A lot of them saying we're going to graduate schools in order to defer the search for a job.
The problem is that they begin their search in the college placement office. And the people in college placement are very good people, but they're isolated from the real world. The college placement people build their ideas on the Fortune 500 and the few thousand companies that have cut back on college campus recruiting. And really, that's not where the action is. There's 15 million companies that don't recruit on campus that need new blood coming in. So if the students would get off the campus, get out of the placement office, and go out and visit alumni, for example, they would have no problem and would not be forced into grad school.
All right, so you're saying don't use the on-campus interviews because those are, in effect, meat markets.
Those are cattle calls, definitely.
And to the advantage of the company, not the individual.
That's correct. I used to do them. They're horrible. People show up in blue suits and red ties and or white blouses and red scarves. You can't tell them apart. You sit in this little tiny room and they come in 20 minutes at a time all day long. It's like confessionals.
How about the job fairs?
They're just the same, all right? They're long lines of people being evaluated. You're on the wrong side. What you want to be is in a race where there are no other horses.
How about the resumes, blind letters to people?
You don't want to try and sell something to somebody until you find out what they're buying. A resume is the sales sheet, and if you don't know what they're looking for, there's no point in sending it.
All right, those are the things not to do. You say it's who you know,
yes,
not what you do. But a lot of kids saying, hey, but I don't know anybody. I don't know how to approach that. What do I do?
Well, the first thing you do is you start off with family and friends, but all of those people that were on campus last year that were seniors or that you knew that were upperclassmen that now have jobs, they're out in the economy. So you go take your campus friends, recent graduates under 2 or 3 years out, and you go call them up and say, I'd like to come out and visit with you and see what it's like out there. Can I come and talk with you and ask you how you got where you are? When you do that, then the last question you ask them is, if you were me, who else would you talk to? And then you begin to build the outside network.
Interesting point, though, you make. You say you don't go out and ask for a job. You ask for information?
That's correct. All salespeople know that you prospect and qualify before you sell. And the biggest rookie sales mistake that a salesman makes is to try and sell before they find out what people are going to buy. So the same thing is true for a college undergraduate. They're taught to present resumes and go to interviews. They should not do that. They have to go out, meet with people, and find out what's going on. That's called career research.
Well, I know, but I've gotten letters from graduates of my college, or even from others, who say, I'd like to come in and talk to you and find out a little bit about the television business and what's involved.
Right.
I know what that letter means.
Yes, and so does everybody else. That's accepted. There's nothing wrong with that. It's ethical, it's legal, and it's the way things are done. And everybody works that way. Now,
but you know that's a young person looking for a job.
That's correct. And that takes the stress and the pressure. You don't have to interview them. You don't have to tell them no. All you have to do is be nice to them and refer them on to someone else.
But is that letter, what I'm really asking, is that letter any more likely to get attention than if they send a resume? Yes,
far more so, because what they're asking for is a favor. Will you talk with me and help me, versus will you evaluate me and tell me yes or no? So the letter is a much less stressful communication.
The second point you made is interesting. Then you ask for the name of someone else to talk to. Really what you're talking about is beginning to network.
That's correct, yes. And once you have one name, you meet with one person, then you want to be into their network. So you want to be passed on to the next 3 or 4 people. Then it's very important that you send back the follow-up note that says thank you within 24 hours. Then when you send the lead letter to the person they're referring you to, you copy back the other person. So you begin to build this paper trail that shows them how reliable you are.
Do you need a gimmick?
No, definitely not. You want to be who you are.
So you don't, so things of weird ways. There was something I read about somewhere that a group of graduates of one recent business school had made up baseball cards, put their pictures on it and statistics and whatever, and sent them out, and were using that to do it. You don't do that, huh?
Not real. You need nice stationery. You have to be a polite, good person that can communicate and be yourself.
And small companies, you say. You should go after small ones?
There's more of them. And they're easier. You can talk to the president or the owner. They don't have personnel departments.
How do you make the first contact? By phone, by letter?
I like to send a letter first so they have a piece of paper there, so they can see what you look like in print. Not a resume, but at least a nice piece of stationery. And then call up after and follow up on that letter. And you can call up and talk to the secretary. You don't even have to talk to the person. You can say, I sent the letter to Mr. Big. I'd like to get on his schedule. Can you help me? And very often the secretary will schedule you in without having to talk to the person.
And you recommend plumbing the list of graduates from your own institution?
Yes.
People always have those old college loyalties.
Yes, and if you're a sophomore right now and you have friends that are juniors and seniors, those people are part of your contact network 2 years from now and maybe for the rest of your life.
All good advice. Jack Falvey,
Thank you.
Jobs are out there, you say?
Definitely.
Just go find them.
Thank you.
16 minutes after the hour, Sweet Cherry Tarts, Wolfgang Puck with us.